Hey everyone, this is Friedel Hacker AJ Raven with this week's review of Penny Dreadful Season 3, episodes number 7 and 8, which served as the finale for the Season 3. And guys, the way things ended, I'm sad about the way things ended, but at the same time, I'm like happy for the character. So yeah, I will get to the explanation in a while. Before I get to the whole Dracula storyline, I'm going to talk about the characters who necessarily didn't have much to do with the final line, but they still need to be talked about. So first I'm going to talk about Lily. In the previous episode, we found out that Lily lost a daughter, and that's the story that she shares with Victor in order to let him know that she wants to live with the pain that she has experienced all of her life, because the pain and the scars that she has experienced is what makes her who she is, which is Lily or Bronna, depending on how you look at things. So Victor decides to let Lily go, and yeah, Victor has grown a lot over the season, even though his whole I want Lily back thing didn't really work out that well for me. It helped him grow as a character, because before he let Lily go, he understood that being monsters is easy, so they should need to try and be more human. Because if you remember way back in season 1, when Victor was first introduced to us, he was a kind of scientist to whom death and other human things were just things that he could blow through, and he didn't really care about them, and he didn't really necessarily want anything to do with humanity. So I guess if the series continues, and I'll get to that later as well, we will get to see a more humane image of Victor, and possibly the humanity that Victor has now achieved will help him make his friend Henry Jekyll, that's my cat, hold on. The humanity that Victor has achieved might help Victor in helping his friend Henry Hyde as well, because during the finale we saw that Henry Hyde got back his aristocracy, back the label, because his father died, and he really wants to be part of the upper class society. And yeah, I guess that's what's going to make him go over to the Jekyll side of things. We'll see if the series continues. The next people I want to talk about is John Clare, and at first I was happy that he met his wife and son, but right from the start I knew that whenever his son is going to die, his wife is going to urge him to take the dead body to Victor so he can come back alive, but John Clare decides not to do that. And again, John Clare has also achieved some sort of humanity as well, because even though he accepts that he's a monster, he wants to do better. He wants to do better, and he had to make a very tough decision, because his wife was like, either you come back with my alive son or you don't come back at all. So John made the decision to not come back at all, and him letting go of his son's dead body in, I guess, the river Thames, and I'm like, that's not sanitary, that's not okay. But yeah, moving on. Now we are coming to the vampire stuff and the Dracula stuff. Episode 7 was all about Ethan, Malcolm, Dr. Seward, Kat, and everybody coming together to find Vanessa. And I wasn't actually expecting Dr. Seward to play such an important role, but I liked her. I mean, she's Patti LuPone, for crying out loud. You don't get Patti LuPone in a TV show and not give her a role that she can really bite into. So it was very fun to see all of these people coming together to help Vanessa, and I also liked the whole scene where Dr. Seward used her psychology skills in order to pry into Renfield's mind and figure out where Dracula was. And I know she has a connection to the Cutwife, even though she's not a real or an actual powerful daywalker right now. But the way she was able to see the sign that Renfield was seeing, even though Renfield didn't say the name of the place, I guess she has some power in her, and that's why she's able to really go into a person's mind and see what they are seeing or hearing or smelling. So she's probably some sort of an empath, or probably she has some latent telepathic abilities or something. Ethan also had a fight with the creatures of the night, the vampires, and it was a very dumb decision in Ethan's part to go and follow that young vampire child. But it also gave a little action, and we also saw Kitani in his werewolf form. I had my suspicions about Kitani being a werewolf right from the start, and it turns out that he was the one who gave Ethan his werewolf curse as well. So both of them also had a confrontation. Ethan was like, "You cursed me," but Kitani was like, "Yeah, at first I thought that the werewolf powers were the gift from God, but then I realized that the gift that I had was actually supposed to be transferred into you so that you could become the real wolf of God and achieve your destiny. And the destiny is that Ethan is the one who's going to save the world from darkness." So everyone, Dr. Seward, Kat, Victor, Kitane, Ethan, and Dr. Malcolm, all 6 of them go to face Dracula. And they have a fight. Victor Victor doesn't know how to fight. He's good with the gun, but it was quite funny to see Victor flailing, and then he got hold of a rod and he started to battle vampires in that manner. Kat is quite a good fighter. The way she climbed that pole, that looked cool. And also, talking about Dr. Seward, she surprised me because she knows how to use a gun, and even though she ran out of bullets, she was hitting vampires with the butt of the gun, and it all looked good. And then Ethan went to go after Vanessa, and the rest of the 5 left faced off Dracula, and I knew they weren't going to win. It's Dracula. The only thing that I'm disappointed during the fight is that I didn't get to see Dracula in his unnatural form. We saw Dracula in his natural form. Either the show is keeping that a surprise for upcoming seasons, or they probably didn't have the budget to show a cool looking unnatural form Dracula. Who knows? We also have found out that Mina being turned into a vampire as well was all part of Dracula's plan, because he wanted Mina to bring Vanessa to him. Talking about Vanessa, even though she went over to Dracula's side, I was a little bit disappointed that her role in the episode was very passive. I was actually waiting for her to battle Dracula herself. And yeah, she died, but it would have felt a lot better if she had died fighting Dracula. Even though she went over to Dracula, we really didn't get to see the whole emotional impact of her decision. Yeah, we saw that she was in pain and stuff, but what really went in her mind, that's something that we didn't see. I really expected Vanessa to do more in the finale. These 2 episodes, Renfield had more screen time than her. But Ethan and Vanessa shared a very emotional moment in which Ethan realized that in order to fulfill his destiny, he had to kill the woman that he loves. And Vanessa is fine with it. Vanessa is a very spiritual woman. She's a woman of faith. Even though she sometimes feels that God isn't with her, she still believes in God. And I guess for a woman like her, being with God and being in God's grace is the best thing that can happen to her. So that scene where she died, but before taking her last breath, she was able to tell Ethan that she saw her Lord. I guess for a character like Vanessa, it's very fitting for a character like Vanessa. And I know there are fans who want Vanessa to come back because there's still that whole mummy thing going on, supposedly for season 4, if we get a season 4, and they want Vanessa to be reincarnated. But as a fan, I say with a very heavy heart that I'm happy that Vanessa died, that she found peace. I really wanted a lot more from her, but right now, her dying and not being tortured and stuff, she's finally at peace. And as someone who likes Vanessa as a character, I am glad that she found peace. And will she be back for Penny Dreadful season 4? I don't know, but even though she doesn't come back, I'll be happy for her, because as a character I know that she's at peace right now. And bringing her back through the whole reincarnation thing and stuff, it will definitely decrease the impact of her death. And I don't really want her for that. It will cheapen her death, and I don't really want that for a character as good and as complex as Vanessa. I mean, he's fine to communicate with the rest of the characters as a spirit or in their dreams or something, but having her back as a proper character, I don't think they should do that for a season 4. And talking about Vanessa dying, I really like the scene where John Clare became the one who recited poetry at Vanessa's grave, because he used to do that in the mental hospital, and it was a very nice little nod to the unique kind of relationship that Vanessa and John Clare shared. Now, speaking of season 4 of Penny Dreadful, there is no news of yet whether or not the series will continue, because the finale also had the scene where it was like the end, and fans are unsure if this meant the end of season 3 or it meant as the end of the whole series. If they go on for season 4, there are a lot of things that they can talk about. Dracula fled, so he's out there somewhere. Lucifer is out there somewhere as well. And also there's the whole thing about the mummy thing and Lyle being in Cairo, so probably we will get to see some mummies, because the whole mummy thing also has its whole unique rich mythos that can be bitten into as well. And having Kate being the member of Sir Malcolm's team means that we have a female team. She won't be able to replace Vanessa, but at least it will be good to have some female representation. And Dr. Seward could also play a part in getting into the psyche of the antagonist that the team sees as well, because Ethan is not going anywhere. He's staying with Sir Malcolm, and Sir Malcolm has decided to stay at home as well. Also, there's the whole Lily and Dorian thing, like, oh god, Dorian. He's the most useless character on the show. He had the potential to be so unique and so sinful and so like queer and stuff like that, and the writers could have used him to push boundaries, but they didn't do anything with the character. He's boring as hell, and yeah, if we get a season 4, whether or not Dorian returns, I really wouldn't care. But as for season 4, I would like to see the main characters, even including Lily, to return, and even John Clare. And John Clare needs to be part of Sir Malcolm's team, because they really would have used a powerful immortal during the fight with the vampires. Like, that's something that I really wanted to see. So yeah, that's that for the finale of season 3. And that's me getting a message. Hold up. Vanessa died, and yeah, she died, and there was a lot more that could have happened between Ethan and Vanessa, but that's Penny Dreadful for you. None of the characters are allowed to be happy, I guess. They are all tormented, they are all cursed, and they all have to deal with the things that are thrown at them. So yeah, let me know what you thought about Penny Dreadful season 3 finale down in the comment section below. Also, let me know if you have any news regarding a potential season 4. And one of the things that I liked Penny Dreadful about was because as an author myself, I love paranormal mysteries, and I'm not quite yet on the level of writing as Logan is when he writes Penny Dreadful. But yeah, as a writer, I really hope that someday I'm able to write as good as that I'm able to write as complex characters as we got in Penny Dreadful. And speaking of paranormal fantasies and mysteries, I have my book, which is titled Arousing the Legacy, with me right here. I'll show it to you guys. So this is my book. This is Arousing the Legacy by A.J. Raven, my pen name, and it is a paranormal mystery young adult series. And I wrote the first part way back when I was 15 years old, and yeah, writing mysteries is probably one of the reasons, paranormal mystery is one of the reasons that I liked Penny Dreadful. I guess that's why I fell in love with Penny Dreadful, and I really hope that we get a season 4. And if you are interested in buying a copy, it's available in paperback and Kindle as well. I guess the Kindle only costs $1 or even lesser than that. All of the links for Arousing the Legacy will be down in the description below, so make sure to check it out. And I wrote the first 2 books. This is a 4-story book, like there are 4 parts in the series in the same book. So I wrote it when I was young, so you will probably get to see or feel my writing improve as I age. So yeah, the first 2 parts might feel a little childish, but hopefully they won't. and the other part 3 and part 4 in this book will feel a bit more mature writing and stuff like that, more skilled writing. So yeah, Penny Dreadful is over. We all have to go on with our lives, but considering there aren't really much paranormal fantasy mystery TV shows that I enjoy that also have complex male and female characters, I'm going to miss it if Penny Dreadful doesn't come back. So yeah, until next time, stay happy, stay safe, stay blessed, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.